I'm very privileged to be interviewing the legendary Doyle Brunson. Hi, Doyle.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I know you were knocked out on day one of the World Series, which I'm sorry to hear about. What happened?
Well, it was just another poker hand. You know, sometimes you got the best hand, sometimes you got the worst hand. I had 3 jacks, and the other gentleman had 3 queens.
Unlucky. So how has the World Series changed over the years?
Well, it's obviously much bigger. There are more amateurs that come to play because they see that anybody can win these tournaments now. So it's a good thing.
Let's take a trip down memory lane. In your books, you talk about early poker experiences, playing the underground poker circuit in Texas. What were the games like?
Well, the games were usually 8 or 10 professionals went around from town to town, and there was always a bunch of local amateurs that wanted to play with us. So we would go to a town, and we would play for several days, and then after a certain amount of time, we would go to another town and do the same thing over again. It was a wild, adventuresome life.
Was it dangerous?
Yeah, it's very dangerous. We got robbed, I think, 5 times. We got arrested numerous times. And you got cheated a lot. You had to watch out for all that stuff. And that was part of the glamour, as you might call it. It was dangerous, but we had a good time.
I once heard that the best bluff you've ever made was when you were nearly robbed. Is that right?
Yeah, I pretended to have a heart attack, and I fell on the ground. Asked them to call the paramedics, and
it worked. Then they ran away.
Actually, it didn't work that well. They went ahead and dragged me in my house and robbed, took my money, and pistol whipped me. It cut my head all up with a pistol. Yeah.
So it didn't work as well as you had hoped then.
No, but it helped because the alarm went off because I wouldn't give them the code to the alarm, and so the police got there eventually. They knew they had to leave, so it helped.
In our magazine, the Gutshot, we have a picture of yourself, Slim Preston, Jack and Benny Binion standing outside the Horseshoe Casino. You took a trip to go to Tom Morehead's house in Reno. Can you tell us about that?
Well, Tom Morehead bought a casino in Reno, and he decided just to have the poker players from around the country come up for a weekend just to play poker. Not a weekend, I think it was for a week. And so he contacted everybody, and we were all professionals, and we came from all around the country to go up there, and he gave us rooms and fed us, and we had a good time up there. We stayed for a week, and Benny Binion came up and saw it, and he liked it, and Tom sold his casino, and so Benny moved it down here, and it became the World Series of Poker.
And you were once a promising athlete, and then you turned to poker. Have you ever had any other jobs?
No, I've been a poker player for 50-something years.
Sounds fun. So when and where were you given the name Texas Dolly?
It was accidentally, I was known as Texas Doyle, and we were trying to avoid publicity back in those days. And some reporter picked it up, and Jimmy the Greek Snyder called me Doily. And some reporters picked it up as Texas Doily, and another one thought he said Texas Dolly, so it became Texas Dolly.
Did you encourage Todd to follow your footsteps?
No, he learned in college. He was going to be a lawyer. He was in his 3rd year at Texas Tech College in Texas, and he came home and announced he wanted to be a poker player, professional poker player.
What did you think about that?
Well, I was kind of pleased about it. My wife was very upset, but I took him around to some clubs around poker clubs in California, and I saw right away that he had the makings of a poker player by the way he handled himself, and I could tell that he kind of knew what he was doing, so I was pleased. You
have won 10 events in total. Any chance of retiring, or do you feel like you have more to accomplish as a gambler?
No, I'll retire when I can't win any longer, and until then I plan on just keep playing. We have many new players coming down to our club in London. Is there any advice that you can give to them? To the who? Our new players that come down to the Gutshot. Well, they should read all the books that are out and try to absorb that knowledge, and then they should play all they can and play in games that they can win in and don't exceed their comfort level.
great advice. Thank you, Doyle, for your time. It's been a real pleasure. We'll see you next time.